Have you ever pondered what occurs when an unstoppable force hits an immovable object? In the 13th century, the Mongol Empire, under the leadership of Genghis Khan and his successors, was that invincible force. Their armies raced over Asia, capturing large kingdoms with amazing speed and violence. But when they turned their focus to the Indian subcontinent, they met an old land of enormous richness and resilience. This is the narrative of that conflict, a tale of ambition, strategy, and survival. The wealth of the subcontinent. To the Mongols, India was a realm of infinite wealth. The northern territories, especially Punjab and Delhi, were primary targets. Delhi was not merely a metropolis. It was the pulsing center of trade in the region. Merchants from Central Asia, the Middle East, Europe, and Southeast Asia thronged its markets. Indian textiles, spices, and precious metals were swapped for luxury items like silk, horses, and advanced artillery. The Yamuna River functioned as a crucial economic artery, aiding the movement of products and reinforcing Delhi's status as a worldwide city. Fine fabrics like muslin and rich cotton textiles were shipped to far-off regions like Persia, Egypt, and Europe. This affluence painted a bullseye on India's back, one that the Mongols couldn't ignore. The Mongol war machine. The Mongols were unlike any other invader India had experienced. They had no fixed cities or villages to defend. Instead, they were nomadic warriors who regarded fighting as a method to expand and retain their dominance. Their tactics were ruthless and efficient. Tributes, treasure, and technology were their primary goals, along with capturing prisoners for their armies and harems. Entire civilizations were routinely wiped out in their wake. Consider the terrifying aftermath of Genghis Khan's Persian campaign in 1222. Cities like Nishapur and Herat saw millions killed, transforming once thriving metropolitan centers to ghost towns. It's believed that this effort alone took off 1.5% of the world's population at the time. By the time the Mongols turned their eyes toward India, they were a force dreaded across continents. The first steps into India. The Mongols first set foot on Indian soil in 1221. They were pursuing Jalal ad-Din Mingburnu, the last prince of the Khwarezmian Empire. After a severe battle in Punjab, Jalal ad-Din escaped, but his soldiers suffered heavy losses. Despite their success, the Mongols elected not to push further into the uncharted terrain of India at that time. But they didn't forget. Over the ensuing decades, Mongol attacks on northern India became a regular nightmare. Punjab, with its bountiful fields and strategic position, suffered the brunt of these invasions. By 1241, the Mongols seized Lahore, sending shockwaves through the Delhi Sultanate. Just a few years later, they captured Multan, severely testing the Sultanate's resources and resolve. The rise of Balban. Enter the Ghiyasuddin Balban, a clever statesman and military strategist. As the vizier and later the Sultan of Delhi, Balban knew the Mongol danger necessitated more than just tribute payments and defensive postures. Thus, he rebuilt the Sultanate's army, enlisting soldiers from varied backgrounds, including freed warriors and immigrants from Central Asia. He outfitted his men with superior weaponry and borrowed certain Mongol techniques to improve Delhi's defenses. One of Balban's most notable accomplishments was the construction of a network of castles along the northwestern frontier. These fortifications, built with massive stone walls and complex defenses, proved a formidable barrier against Mongol incursions. Inspired by the lessons of Europe's struggles against the Mongols, Balban ensured these forts were well manned and strategically positioned to detect and resist invasions. A turning point. In 1279, the Mongols launched a great offensive into Punjab. Prince Muhammad, Balban's son, led the defense with courage, but was unfortunately murdered in combat. Despite this tragic loss, Balban's plans paid off. The Sultanate's defenses held, and the Mongols were forced to retreat. Balban's final years were marred by grief over his son's death, but his legacy as a defender of India endured. His policies created the framework for future leaders, notably Jalaluddin Khalji and Alauddin Khalji, who would battle the Mongols with even greater vigor, the Khalji resistance. Under Alauddin Khalji, the Delhi Sultanate experienced some of the most determined Mongol invasions. In 1297, a Mongol force attacked Punjab, but was decisively beaten by Khalji's general, Ulugh Khan. Undeterred, the Mongols tried another raid shortly after, only to be defeated again by Zafar Khan, another of Khalji's faithful commanders. In 1299, the Mongols made their biggest move yet. A large army, led by Dua Khan's son, Kutlugh Khwaja, marched against Delhi with the purpose of conquest, not simple pillage. For 6 months, they avoided robbing and focused entirely on reaching Delhi. But Khalji's defenses were ready. The Sultan's men harassed the Mongols at every step, weakening their determination. When the ultimate confrontation occurred, Khalji's soldiers stayed firm. The Mongols, albeit formidable, were crushed once more, forcing their evacuation. This represented a turning moment in the history of Mongol-Indian ties. While the Mongols continued to invade irregularly, their dreams of conquering India remained unfulfilled. The legacy of resistance. The Mongol invasions left an everlasting influence on Indian history. They tested the durability of the Delhi Sultanate and compelled its leaders to adapt and innovate. The creation of fortifications, the upgrading of the army, and the strategic leadership of people like Balban and Alauddin Khalji assured that India could survive one of history's most merciless empires. In the end, the narrative of the Mongols and India is not merely one of invasion and defense. It's a testament to the continuing spirit of a land that, despite its internal conflicts, could unify against a common peril. And while the Mongols' kingdom spanned countries, their march into India serves as a reminder that even the mightiest troops can meet their match. With that stated, thanks for watching until next time.